Coming off a really rough start to the season, Bronson Moreau and his Seahawks are 0-3. But following their last game in a press conference, Bronson Moreau had this to say. Winning the Super Bowl was great, but we have to realize that was a different season, a different team. This year, we're 0-3. When asked how he's going to start to correct things, he answered by saying, as the quarterback, it is up to me to lead this team, cut out the shenanigans, and focus in. That's how we turned things around last year, and it worked out. And working out was exactly what Bronson Moreau had his Seahawks team doing. Back onto the practice field, working on the timing, the accuracies, and forcing passes definitely were first and foremost. So as we get stuck in today to Bronson Moreau's next 3 games, he has himself at an interesting spot. He is 3rd in the league in passing yards. However, he leads the league in interceptions by 2, have accounting for more than 2 per game to this point. The one fun stat is that Bronson Moreau is actually 3rd in rushing yards this year. So he is getting a lot of things done. He's trying to carry his team, but those tweaks have to be made. And part of cutting out some of those shenanigans, the fun visors are gone. It's back to business. He will keep with wearing one, but it's going to be a clear Oakley visor. Same for the away kits as well. So as we look to bounce back, we have the Ravens, the Jags, and an early second matchup here against the 49ers. Getting revenge on them in what was a close loss, a win that was possible for us if we didn't make some mistakes late. We can hopefully start to turn this one around, but it's going to come through playing some really tough defenses. Bronson better be prepared. Good news for Bronson is it gets to begin at home. A little bit of an RPO dialed up here, and we'll swing it to the outside, get a couple blocks, or apparently just half of a couple. Ends up only being a gain of 3, and what looked like it might have been a bit more, as we do get by midfield though. Looking for somewhere to go, instead Moreau will end up scrambling out late, and he slides down, leaving 2 for 3rd. And that was a good job of Moreau to wait, let things try to develop, and when nothing did, then make his choice. He did not rush things. As we rush the ball here is going to be Kenneth Walker picking up a nice gain, 15-16. Kenneth Walker not as involved last time out. He suffered some injuries as well, so kept him away from the team. As it's up for DK, it is tipped away. Johnson, outside of a couple deep passes, didn't quite get the consistency going with DK as we were hoping for. Also new tight end in Pat Freiermuth. Doesn't matter here because it's a quick sack off the edge, Yaya Diaby. But as we were trying to say, a little bit of hit or miss with Freiermuth last time out. He dropped some pretty key balls. Offensive line also struggled. Pretty evident with that last play. As we roll, we throw. It's for Lockett, and it's an early touchdown on the move. Throws a perfect strike to his veteran receiver, and we end with a touchdown on the board. So take that visor off, put a clear one on, and apparently Moreau can already see things a good bit better, though it is once again, strike leveling the game here from the Ravens. Saw a lot of that last game, or last episode, as Moreau tries to throw a late block. Pretty sure he ended up whiffing on that entirely and just doing a barrel roll. Leaves 2nd and 7 as we look to go with a deeper option or look for the check down here. Off the mark, Moreau. He's the only chance to get the tackle here, and he will. Dragging him down at the 4, but accuracy off the mark, and Williams nearly directly finds the touchdown. Mixed result there for Moreau. We needed him to look to those checkdowns a little bit more last week as they are spying him entirely here. It's a throw late across the field. DK almost catches it. That is back in reverse of what we're supposed to do. But Moreau is sitting at that dreaded 50% from last episode. 50% continuing here with his completions. As it's a pass across the middle that is open, placed well under pressure. It is Freiermuth getting his first grab of the episode. Keeping this drive moving too as we're down to the 26. One more play left in this quarter as Moreau looks to scrambles too late. leaving us once again with a 3rd and long. And another hit coming in. We'll get back to the line, but this will just be a field goal attempt. And with Moreau trying to lead his team back here, he could use some help, more specifically from that offensive line. Keep him clean. As he finds some space here, he looks to take on Humphrey, and it's not necessarily a good juke, as that will send us quickly into the 4th quarter. Need a dominant showing here. So as we begin at the 34, looking for a play action roll, we got our guy crossed, lead it, we might find the end zone. No, stop 5 yards short. Looked good from Moreau's standpoint. Might look for a stop from Smith and Jigbo, or instead trying to step up. It's a sack from Wilkies. A little bit of a hard count. Under pressure. No opportunity there. Down 14. I would appreciate coach letting us go for it here. 3 options to the right, 1 to the left. As we do have a window, this time we find Tyler Lockett. We found the 1. Now we need a stop from the defense, and we need to find the 2nd. But of course, that only matters if the defense can get a stop, and a gain of 18 doesn't help out. That will, though. Holding Backham up, then knocked away Jamal Adams. 2nd and 20. Thrown away. 3rd and a stop needed. A sack from Kenneth Murray Jr. 2nd and 10, looking for some timing routes on the outside. Not really something we do all too often. Moreau will end up lowering the shoulder, and Abraham Lucas is shaken up. That's 2 injured offensive linemen in this game. Hopefully we can find them both back quickly. We all know how they've played, even being healthy. As we look for the play action roll, we get this to Ellison, who will pick up the 1st down. He will pay for it. Ian Thomas actually coming across, not Ellison. One of the new additions this year, but he is headed to the tunnel. He took a big shot there, but we appreciate him putting his body on the line for us, as we got to find something here. Evading some pressure, coming across, and it's thrown late, but DK makes a heck of a play. This is where we can't get too antsy. Moreau has done it before, nearly did it last time. See if we can find Freiermuth with no high safety, or instead getting sacked through a block. It's Grenard. This offensive line continually letting us down. It does look like Cross, who was one of the injured offensive linemen earlier in the game, is back out there. Settle the feet, look for the pass. This time we find Freiermuth into the end zone. We tie it up in the 4th. Again, just finding that settled play. Let those feet sit. Make your throw, let them do the work. It's partially about leading, it's also partially about trusting your team, as we need to trust our defense to get a stop here. It's a 1st down for the Ravens. 6 goes back to Haskins. They're closing in on midfield, now past midfield with the Jackson scramble. 5 yards back to Haskins. 2nd and 5, 1st down, Lamar. They're about and definitely in field goal range now, as we're inside the 2-minute warning. They're going to start letting clock roll. We're calling timeouts. 3rd and 4. We get the ball, and they did not attempt a field goal. It looks like a turnover. So now we will have that opportunity to find the game winner. We only have 1 timeout. They have 3. Need to keep that in mind. As Moreau will look to rumble, sliding down. That is what we need from him. We need to get into field goal range. The 35 is where we need to be, and we are about out of time here. We need a quick play to get us there. As it is thrown away. Tried to find Lockett, and they're still rumbling. Luckily, time expires. It will be overtime. The good news is we do win the coin flip, so a chance to walk it off here. And that's got to be our last mistake. No more in this game, as can we get some protection? 2 high safety. See if we could get a step anywhere, or again, pressure. I don't think we have an offensive line to win us a game. Now all the Ravens need is a field goal, and they could win. They start with a fullback dive, knocked away by Drew Tranquill. 3rd down, they get a stop. They were questionable in the 1st half. They've come prepared here late. 3rd and 10, they bring a blitz. We roll. We've got our guy sitting across the middle. We find him. That's the tight end, Freiermuth, and the 4th offensive lineman injured. And now he too will head off the field. Do we have a fullback playing anywhere on this offensive line? I don't know how we have these many people just sitting on a roster. This would be 9 offensive linemen who have played in this game. But the tight end got us into field goal range, so it looks like we're just gonna hand off the ball a couple times. Walker, he's just looking for a touchdown. I'm trying to take the field goal and walk away here. But it looks like that is what the coach wants as well. We'll come off the field at the 15. All we need is a field goal to win it, and I wish we could watch it happen. Unfortunately, we don't get that, but we do get the win. 27-24. Hard-fought victory. Gritty. We had to do whatever we could to find that win. We didn't see the improvement we were looking for, and the offensive line got decimated. And despite losing a majority of the offensive line in that last game, only one was really suffering a real injury, long-form injury. So it could just be the team quitting, the offensive line quitting on their guys. And that might even be the same for Kenneth Walker this year. He has missed all but 1.5 games so far, as he's going to miss the next one. We also will be without Pat Freiermuth and Ian Thomas. So Ellison will have a greater opportunity to get things done in the next one. As we head on the road, what do we have in store for us here? Well, first off, we have Woner, who's going to get a little bit of some tight end work, and a Smith. So Ellison not even having that opportunity, as we do find said Smith. He gets a gain of 7. And in fact, it looks like Ellison not even on the roster anymore. So he might have got cut to make room for Jonnu Smith or for Warner, as Moreau just has to throw that one away. With the rough start that we had this year, I guess it makes sense that if you weren't contributing, you might not continue with the team, as it's thrown into DK. He cannot hold on to it. 4th and 3. The game begins with a punt. Jags definitely have some key guys on their defense, though not going to be anywhere close to the same level as who we just played. As Moreau, he finds some space, shaking off of one, trying to keep those legs moving forward. Gets us up to about midfield, gain of 19. But in the terms of not talking too much about the offensive line anymore, we will look elsewhere until they force our hand, as we've got a wide open receiver. Let him a little too much, but it is a catch for Lockett. Hard count from Moreau. No one jumps. Needing to find somewhere to go. It's out to Charbonnet, who will get the catch and will just manage the first down. So 1st and 10 at the 15. Hard count, no one jumps, though it looked like one of the offensive linemen almost did and couldn't get rid of it. Sack comes in by Gates. And that's a stat we probably should check in on. Who's been the most sacked this year? And I wouldn't be surprised if it was Moreau. A little bit of some play action. As we've got the underneath, we will take that. Lockett gets the catch, pushed down, leaving 3rd and 4. And first down just on the outside of the 5. As we dial up the slants, they bring the blitz. We roll, we look for the window, and DK gets clobbered. But both feet with the ball come down inbound. So we do get the first score here. Now can we build? That's been the problem. But if the defense is any indication, then we should. They get another stop as we start in shotgun here. We'll get it to the outside. A quick grab. Gain of 6 goes to Jonnu Smith. Really wonder if by the time we get back Pat Freiermuth or Ian Thomas, if Ellison does join, maybe we just sent him to the practice squad. That is the hopes. He performed pretty well out there. As we go back to Tyler Lockett, he's found himself getting quite open on the drag concepts, the crossing routes, to be a little bit more accurate, not necessarily the drags. As we look for the quick stop here, Warner, he's going to get the catch, tried to shake it, pick up a gain of 5, and we will not have time to get one more snap off in the first quarter, but a 7-0 lead. Defense starting off pretty hot. Offense, a little bit of a mix, but an opportunity to heighten the heat here. Single high safety here, 3rd and 5. Hard count, no one jumps. Moreau immediately being pressured, rolls to the outside, he gets by the big boy, he's outrunning and by the diving defender to a little juke and into the end zone. One of the best rushes of Bronson Moreau's young career. Season 3, that is the highlight. As we look to move forward here, that lead we once had has gone away. Jags up 21-14 now. The fact that we haven't been able to move the ball consistently coming back to bite us in a major way. Part of it definitely due to the offensive line. The other part to Moreau and the coaching. It's still continuing to try to have these more developing route concepts when that is not what we have the protection for. Nice catch coming across. I believe that was Lockett yet again. He's come through in a massive way time and time again, just as well as DK has, but the open receiver made me lose track of my thought process. It wasn't a great throw there from Moreau. If it was, we're back in the end zone. Look for a little bit of some RPO then. As we will hand it off, Charbonnet will look to finish, but he's denied at the one. Ezra Cleveland shaken up for the second time in this game. And this time, he heads to the tunnel. He was the only O-lineman to not get injured last week. So now all of our offensive linemen have been injured at least once. We get the slant diving touchdown catch. Smith in Jigba levels this game at 21. And with the defense picking up another stop here for us, just over 2 minutes left. We have a chance to win the game here in regulation yet again. As we throw cross body, we find Lockett. Try to keep that high, and it's a smart choice. As we hit the 2-minute warning, we're down to the 25, plus an injury for a Jacksonville Jaguars defender. We'll send him to the bench. This is where we really need to be smart. A field goal wins it, and it's the wins that matter most here, not the individual stats. So we hand it off. No timeout called, no game. And if the Jags aren't going to utilize their timeouts, well, we will let this clock roll as much as possible. We are in range. So with 1 second on the play clock, hand it off. Charbonnet, no gain, and there's the timeout. Calling it, forcing us to try to do something here with a 3rd and 10. And it's an immediate rush. Smart move from the Jags. They call their second timeout. This should be a field goal attempt. They will have a timeout to try to answer. But ultimately, this comes down to the line not doing their job. Ingram picks up 11. They haven't called their timeout yet. 9 back to Ingram. Sub 30 seconds. 8 to OBJ. They just need a field goal. Thrown away with 16 seconds left. 2 yards rushed by Lawrence. They call the timeout. And as the time expires, they get a touchdown. The Jaguars stole it with no time remaining at home. I know my opinion on it. Moreau didn't have the cleanest of games, but the offensive line is costing us time and time again. So with tensions rising, going into a Sunday night primetime rematch against the 49ers, can we pull off a miracle here? We are missing half of our starting offensive line. Moreau throws, finding a big play once again, Tyler Lockett. As you look for the dump off, Fred Warner blows it up. 4th and 2 at the 39. Unfortunately, coach will send us off the field. I would have preferred to go for it. But coach says, I got your back, sonny boy, don't worry, I've been here before. He goes for it with these special teams. Converts, and we keep this drive moving. As this time we do find Freiermuth, first catch back from, speaking of injury, Anthony Bradford now out. Well, we're now sitting with a 2nd and 25. Despite that player being essentially triple teamed, he still finds a way to get back there. Coming across, out for Tyler Lockett. We take another hit. We send ourselves into the second quarter with a 3rd and 3 rather than a 3rd and a country mile. It nearly was. That does not mean the job is done. Still got to convert here. As we just need a simple pass across the middle, we go to DK, who drops it late. And it looks like we'll be settling for a field goal. And that's exactly what Ron Rivera wanted you to think. Instead, we go for it again with the special teams. And we convert again. On the roll, we get it out quick to Walker. As he lowers the shoulder, he doesn't truck over anyone, but he's got us down to the 3. We can't let Riverboat run down here. We need the touchdown. We've went for it twice on special teams. It's only our first drive, and DK gets wide open. A little late shoulder bump there from Brown, but we take the lead at home versus the Niners. What would be a game without some drama? And with that, they drive down the field and they answer back. 10-7 now, as there's a whole side of the field that is not wide open. They're looking to find a receiver coming across, diving out for it. Fryer move. That time a calculated risk from Moreau. He set the feet at least before he heaved it. You could call that some slight improvement. As we look for Lockett here, he gets picked up, slammed down. A little unnecessary, but hey, it's a rivalry for a reason. As they bring down the safety to the right-hand side, Moreau checks the line to shift that way. Looking for some space to run, and he will, sliding down shy of the 30. You can feel a little bit of fire in this team right now. Maybe that's just from the rivalry. Maybe they're actually going to try from here on out as we find Lockett again under pressure. Good throw, not into the end zone, but down inside the 5. We just got to find our way into the end zone here. Hard count, no one jumps. We'll swing it out for Walker, and he shakes the tackle attempt, but can't get the end zone. So it will end up being a field goal attempt here to tie. Or as we get into the second half, we actually missed said field goal attempt, or it was blocked, or we didn't go for it. Either way, the 49ers, they got a field goal before half, and as we are into this half, we are down by 6. Spinning off, and Moreau will gain 4. So we've had some very weird plus side of the field drives in this game, as that is technically another sack. Rid of that one, Hargrave. Moreau a yard away from getting back to the line. You're gaining anything. Leaves us with a 3rd and 7. DK gets bumped around a bunch. A defensive holding call should have been in there at least. That was well past 5 yards. Maybe this time we'll get a field goal attempt. But I can't promise you anything. But of course, as we do finally get that field goal, well, it's 2 straight touchdown drives for the 49ers. So down 17 now. Late in this game, we look downfield. DK can't hold on to it. I feel like that is a pretty prime example of how this season has gone. Opportunity's been there each and every game, but opportunity that continues to slip through our hands as well as Moreau cuts back towards the middle. Thought the receiver was going to drag him towards the inside. Did not end up happening that way. But we've got about 4 minutes here to try to score 3 times. Look for the halfback screen, maybe get some blocks this time. Walker actually got a big one on the edge. It's a first down inside the red zone. We just don't have much time to spare. Gonna need our defense to come through in a massive way as well. But first and foremost, we need a touchdown, though it gets jumped to Tyler Lockett. And that is probably the nail in the coffin for us here. So an early sweep by the 49ers solidifies our spot at the bottom of the division. Last year, we were able to climb back. We took the division. We won a Super Bowl. Does the team have that fight still in them? And well, obviously, what's happening out on the field is not good, especially coming off that Super Bowl win. For Bronson Moreau individually this episode, it was much more improved. He's improved his season completion percentage, and on top of that, he's drawn back almost entirely his touchdown to interception ratio. So that part is looking pretty good. Additionally, he's ran for another 230 yards. He has 3 rushing touchdowns, so that is positive, at least to his turnovers. But I don't know, Moreau might be almost done with what the Seahawks have provided him with the blocking, because it has been horrific since day one. Kyrie Hall, 7 sacks given up, and these are just sacks, not even counting hits, hurries, anything. 6 for Benton, 5 for Lucas, 2 for Cross, and one of the backup offensive linemen, 2 for Cleveland. Feliciano also supposed to be a backup. Bradford has 1, Bolden has 1. We have well more than 5 guys who have given up a sack, which is too many. Should only have 5 offensive linemen playing, maybe a 6. They're not participating in this team, and it is costing everyone, including themselves. Moreau still in top 5 in terms of overall rushing this year, so that is still fun for a quarterback. And he's also top 5 in passing yards. Now only 10 touchdowns, that puts him pretty low down the stat board. And in terms of interceptions, he almost has double the amount of anyone else, so still a lot of work to do. But ultimately, he can't do much when he doesn't have protection. And I'm sure his receivers would also love that, so they could run the routes that best fit them as well. But I might start toying with this series a little bit, get through a little bit more than just 3 games per episode, maybe highlighting certain things in each and then watching a full game. Toy around with that, though this still is going to be the final season. But we can't sit here and watch the same thing game in and game out. So hope you enjoyed what tweaks I did make to this episode. We'll continue toying with it because it also might see itself reflected in perhaps a road to glory on the channel when EA Sports College Football 25 comes out as well, which we had news drop yesterday on. There's a video on the channel for that if you missed it. There's several of them on the channel for that. But we'll see you next time as Bronson Moreau tries to deal with this offensive line and get the team back to where they should be.